While preparing for IELTS general training, writing task 1, know that features the examiners look for in a letter. Well, when you put in the work, getting the IELTS score you need is easy. We have put together some handy tips to get you one step ahead. With the help of our IELTS experts, we have put together some important points you need to focus on when writing a letter as part of IELTS general training, writing task 1. So, of course, in writing task 1, you're going to get a letter writing. Okay, it's easy. If we take a closer look at task achievement in the IELTS assessment criteria, you can see the examiner checks to see if your letter contains the following features. So these 4 features, you must focus on these 4 features. Your letter must contain these 4 features. So what are they? Purpose of the letter is presented, why you are writing the letter. Tone of the letter is appropriate. The tone, the way you're writing, it should be appropriate. Are you writing to a friend or are you writing to a general manager or someone? How is the tone? That matters. Bullet points are presented, highlighted, and extended. So there should be bullet points. Format is appropriate, letter format. So the format should be appropriate. That's a quick overview, but let's take a closer look at what each of these dot points mean. Okay, and how you need to write your letter in IELTS reading. State the purpose. Okay, so what's the purpose? So first, purpose. Start your letter by clearly showing why you are writing and the purpose. Okay, the reason for writing your letter needs to be clearly presented in the opening paragraph. Make sure the purpose of the letter is in direct response to the situation outlined in the question. Example opening paragraphs with a clear purpose presented. Let's have a look on it. Well, so formal letter, how you can start the first paragraph. Dear sir or madam, I'm writing to express my dissatisfaction with the product I have I purchased recently and to request a full refund. Now, informal letter, you can say, Dear John, I was so pleased to hear that you are planning on visiting my country. So I am writing to give you some travel tips and advice before you book your trip. So this is actually the purpose in the first letter, the first paragraph. The opening paragraph must show the purpose. Like when you're writing your friend to suggest you, then you can say, Dear John, I was so pleased to hear that you are planning to sit for IELTS exam. So I'm writing to give you some tips and tricks or some ideas about about how to take preparation for IELTS exam. So that should be that is the purpose. That is the first criteria. And you see, examiners always look into that 4 formats. And what is appropriate for IELTS, that is appropriate for anyone and everywhere. Now, it will help you not only for IELTS, for anything you're writing. So the first paragraph, if it's a letter, the first paragraph must cover the purpose. Remember it carefully, okay? Now, common IELTS general training writing task 1 situation may include situations. What situations may include? Formal, letter of complaint, personal, business, recent experience, product. Informal, letter of invitation. So that could be the situation. Okay, in your IELTS exam, you might get this sort of situation. There might be a letter of complaint, like you have bought a product, but the product is faulty, so you want a refund. It could be letter of request, refund, repair advice, letter of inquiry. It could be like information request or booking, like you are inquiring about the booking. Okay, letter of recommendation, job or colleague, you can recommend some places or something. Letter of suggestion, suggesting ideas, plans, and solutions. Informal, it could be letter of invitation, letter of request, asking questions, asking for advice, asking for help, letter of thanks or appreciation, letter of suggestion. So we will be doing our project work on all these sort of letters. I will be giving you and we'll be doing our project work because we have our project work to do. Now, use the right tone. So what is a tone? Include bullet points presented in the question. When writing a letter,
I think these 4 key points I will want to see again that we have to focus.
I will give you this, no problem. Include bullet points presented in the question. When writing a letter as part of the IELTS General Training Writing Task 1, it is important to include the bullet points presented to you in the question. The question in IELTS General Training Writing Task 1 will present you with a situation, who to write the letter to, what you must include in the letter. So when writing a letter as a part of the IELTS Training Task 1, it is important to include the bullet points presented to you in the question. So all these bullet points need to be presented. So these are the bullet in IELTS. These will be the bullet points, like the situation, who to write the letter to, what must include in the letter bullet point. All the 3 bullet points need to be presented. And remember that some bullet points contain more than one element. So make sure to watch for and plurals. Let's break down the following questions. An overseas friend wants to visit your country on holiday. Write a letter to your friend. In your letter, recommend the best time of year to visit and why. Describe the types of accommodation your friend could choose. Say what you would like to show your friend in your country. Write at least 150 words. Now, you do not need to write an addresses because the address will be there. Begin your letter as follows, dear, and then you will start. Look at the first bullet point and you will see it contains 2 elements. So make sure you present both. Like the best time of the year to visit, why it is the best time to visit. Okay, so you can say most people visit Brisbane in the summer months, but I think it's far too hot then. The best time to visit is between April and June. Our autumn season, it's still sunny, but much cooler and not as humid as the summer. Now, if we say that, let's talk about, let's put this place in Cox's Bazar, okay? So one of your friend wants to visit your country, let's say Cox's Bazar. So which time you recommend him? Recommend the best time of the year to visit and why? Tell me. Well, in fact, you can write it down. Guys.
I think it's better the Sakib and Shaheen and can tell us better because they are inhabitant of that Cox Bazar.
No, that's why I asked you guys to write it. Write on WhatsApp, just 1 sentence, right? 1 or 2 sentences. You can follow this structure. Let me give you the structure here. Here is the structure. Most people visit Brisbane in the summer months, but I think it's far too hot there. The best time to visit is between April and June, our autumn season. It's still sunny, but much cooler and not as humid as the summer. Example for the first, okay, the first bullet point is the time and why he should choose this time. Can you write it?
Yes, sir.
Please do it. Tell me once you have completed writing it.
Yes, sir. I can say it you.
Yeah, please. Have you sent it? Okay, if you haven't sent it, then tell me. Okay, tell me.
Okay, sir. Most of the people visiting Cox's in the winter season, but I recommend visit the Cox's February and March.
Then between
Because
February and March.
because this time is the weather is absolutely excellent because February and March is the winter and summer's combinations season.
Okay.
This season have some winter and some summer. This is actually great weather in the visit anywhere.
Okay, great. So Suha. Hello, Suha. Can you hear me? Sakib, go. Hello.
Sir, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you also. But where are the other students? Suha, can you hear me? Sakib, Tachul Bhai, Shaheen, who can hear me? Just only Arshi hear me?
Me hear you.
Okay, Rumi, then you make your sentence. Give me your sentence.
Appropriate time for visiting Cox's Bazar.
Yeah.
I think there is a December to February time is the appropriate. The winter season is the best time to visit the Cox's Bazar, and I prefer the December time because there is a vacation times. We can enjoy the holiday.
Okay, super. So you're gonna get a letter to do that. Okay. So let's go for the tone. Use the right tone. So what can be the right tone of a letter? Let's move on the next feature in your letter that the examiner is looking for, the tone of your letter. The tone refers to the way in which you write the letter, formal or informal style. The instructions in the question will give you a clue. So in the question, you may get the clue. So are you writing it in a formal way or informal way? So when you're writing in a formal way, the words should be formal. When you're writing in informal way, the word should be informal. So today we will give you a chart of formal words and informal words that your letter might contain. Begin your letter as follows, like dear, informal or semi-informal, written to a friend, colleagues, or someone you know. Now, if it is a formal letter, then of course, dear sir or madam. Dear sir or madam, formal, written to somebody you don't know. Okay. A formal letter contains longer sentences that uses passive languages, be plus past participle, like passive. Okay, formal letter. You know the formal letters, right? Models. The broken light needs to be fixed to ensure that the customers who use the facility have adequately visible. You know, like you don't know the person. That's why you cannot talk to them directly. And that's why we are using the passive. An informal letter, it's conversational, like you are talking to him. Can include contractions. In informal letter, you can use contractions like can't, mayn't, and more direct speeches like, can you fix the light in the kitchen so I don't have an accident? Understand that? The table shows some examples of formal and informal vocabulary and structure that you can see, you can use in your IELTS general writing task 1 response. So here are some formal vocabs and informal vocabs. So formal vocabulary would be request. I would like to request you to fix this problem, or you are requested. In fact, you're not going to say I would like, you're saying you are requested to fix, because you're going to go for the passive voice. If it is a informal letter, then ask. Well, I ask you to do that. I'm asking you to do it. Now, purchase. Formal is purchase, informal is buy. Formal is could, informal is can. Can you do this? Now, could you do this? Would, will. At your earliest convenience, when you are free. So in informal, you're saying when you're free, please text me. But if it is a formal letter, if you can say, please text me at your earliest convenience. Look, you must remember, when you're writing a formal or informal. Okay, now respond, write back, reply. So you can say, please respond me once you are free, and now please reply or write back. Write back is informal. Cannot, can't, yours sincerely or faithfully, best wishes or love. Furthermore, and or also. So in your you can say furthermore when it's formal, furthermore, and if it is informal, you can say and also. Like, I would like to show you some places, and I want to know from you. So I want to show some places, and furthermore, I want to know many things from you too. Can I suggest? Can I tell you? So tell you is a informal, and suggest is a formal letter, formal vocab. As you described above, as I mentioned before. So as you described above, that is informal, a formal, and as I mentioned, this is formal. So you will learn it, no problem. And finally, remembers that the greeting and the closing salutation of an IELTS general training writing task 1 letter needs to match the style. For example, dear, if it is dear sir or madam, it will be yours faithfully or faithfully yours. Dear John, it will be best wishes. Okay, so if it is an informal letter, you are going to writing best wishes, and if it is a formal, yours faithfully. Now we have already talked about using bullet points, how to do about it, and the last thing last is structure your letter. So how to structure your letter, but before that, tell me how you ends a letter. If you're writing a letter to your friend, then what would be the salutation, ending salutation? Faithfully yours or best wishes? Guys, tell me.
Best
Your
wishes.
bosom
Yes, sir,
friend.
No, just say best wishes.
Yes.
Okay, if it is informal, go for best wishes. And if it is formal, then what? Now you are learning a structured way. And IELTS is the best structure, best institution to check your English, right? Then we must follow IELTS, right? That's the standard.
Yes.
So you're going to write
Yeah.
best wishes. If it's informal letter and formal, then you're going to say yours faithfully or faithfully yours.
Faithfully yours.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now structure your letter. The final feature to look at in IELTS general training writing task 1 is the format of your letter. A letter needs to be written using a proper format, including the following: a greeting. So there must be a greeting like dear sir or madam. The main body consisting of paragraphs for each part of the letter. There should be 2 or 3 paragraphs, that is the body. A closing salutation, yours sincerely, yours faithfully, best wishes, kind regards, love. Okay, you can say this, kind regards, love. In the instructions, you are told you do not need to write an address, so do not include them. Now, dear Andrew, that is the opening salutations for of greeting must be included for appropriate letter format. Okay, I was pleased to hear that you are going to visit Brisbane, so I am writing to give you some information to think about before you come. That is, state the purpose of the letter in the opening paragraph. So you are like, you can say, I was pleased to hear you that you are going to visit Cox's Bazar, so I'm writing to give you some information to think about before you come. Now, first bullet point presented and highlighted in a separate paragraph. Most people travel to Brisbane in the summer months, but I think it's uncomfortably hot, and at that time of the year, autumn is the best season between April and June. It's still sunny, but much cooler than it's in summer. At the moment, all of our bedrooms are full, so unfortunately, we can't put you up. However, there are some cheap places to stay, like Airbnbs in our suburb. You could also stay in a serviced apartment in the city center or on the Gold Coast. There are lots of spaces online, so I'm sure you will find somewhere affordable. Well, that is the second bullet point presented and highlighted in a separate paragraph. When you get here, let me be your tourist guide. I will take you to Lone Pin Koala Sanctuary, where you can feed kangaroos and koalas. I can also drive you to the Gold Coast for a swim. To add excitement, you can visit the theme park there too. Looking forward to catching up. Look, that. Third bullet point, presented and highlighted in a separate paragraph. Looking forward to catching up, concluding letter, rounding off statement. So this actually, what does it do? Looking forward to catching up. That's concludes the paragraph. Now, best wishes, Laurel. You name. Closing salutation must be included for appropriate letter format. So that's the closing salutation, and then Laurel. Now, if you understand that, let's say, remember to reach a higher band score for IELTS General Training Writing Test 1, task achievement, you need to include each of these features in your letter. A clear purpose, appropriate tone, present and highlight all the bullet points, appropriate format. So if you guys have any question, I think you don't have any question, but you are going to write a letter. I'm going to give you the letter here, and also the file will be uploaded on our classroom. Any question, guys?
Sir, write or speaking video?
Both. First, you're going to write it, since it's a writing
Okay,
program.
sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. After writing, we can make
Make
a practice
video. Right. First, you're going to write. I'm going to give you the letter. Okay. So last class for this year. Happy New Year in advance. I will upload the video also.